This is the long game. This is planting seeds. It'll make your business so much more robust that if they do change an algorithm in Facebook, you're not screwed. Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. Okay, here we go. Today, we have a great topic. Today, we're going to talk about Google Analytics 4 and how reviews give you an absolutely unfair advantage with our awesome special guest, Andres Escobar, founder of ReviewBiz.io. Andres, welcome, man.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you having me on here.
Absolutely. So answer me this. How many people are scared, whether they're messaging you or whatever, to pronounce your name out loud because they don't know how to pronounce it? I always think that because I was.
Oh, man. And you know what? Probably if I didn't give you the prompts and how to say it, you probably would have been like, but you did it great. You did a fantastic job. It's Andres. If your English is your first language, and if it's not your first language, then Andres. So
there you go, man. There you go.
Yeah,
it's one of those ones like white people get really nervous around names like that. This is like, oh, it could be that, could be that. Am I going to be very culturally insensitive? You don't know.
No, dude. And, yeah, it's funny because I was watching this episode in Colorado. I was in a conference, and they talked about how names are so important, and if you don't try to give it an effort, it's like you don't really care about the person. So I really appreciate you making sure that you said it right, and it just goes to show you who you are.
Well, when Scott Ramage connected us, like I had to listen to his pronunciation like twice before I had the confidence to do it. I don't know why I'm that way. I just am. But
I love it, dude. That's awesome, man. I love it. I think no one's gonna be offended by the way you are there. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
good stuff.
So, but anyways, thank you so much for coming. Like we've all been getting the emails that have been coming across. I've been getting them through because I've got 6 gyms. So I've been getting it for all these different gyms. Like, hey, we're moving to Google Analytics 4, Google Analytics 4. Which we might get here snippets here and there, but nobody really, let's face it, none of us, gym owner monkeys know what's going on behind the scenes with Google Analytics 4, but it does really change the game for SEO and really people finding you and organic. Like I am so big on organic leads. We've developed an entire organic acquisition system because listen, we do Facebook and Instagram leads at some of my locations, and most gyms have to do them to some degree if they really want to grow past a certain level. That being said, they're a pain in the ass. They're not that fun. They take a lot of nurture. There's higher rates of no-show. So, where gyms where I'm good with organic leads, I don't even want to mess with it. And that's a great thing. But also, I never want any place to be totally vulnerable, where if you're getting all your leads coming from Facebook and Instagram, they can change one thing and it shuts you off.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place to be in. So
it's so dangerous.
Yeah. I'm really big on organic acquisition. And I know you kind of have some stuff to share about Google Analytics 4. Before we get into that, why don't you tell everybody kind of a little bit about yourself and your background?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So I was born in Colombia, South America, and I was made in the US. And what I mean by that, I came here when I was 2 years old, and I grew up alongside of, I'm more American than than I am Colombian. So, I connect easier with my American. I live in Florida, and I served in the Air Force. I got my Air Force hat today, actually. It's funny.
Nice.
And interesting enough, that's where I got my start in the fitness world. I ran fitness clubs or gyms. They're not called clubs in the Air Force, but they're gyms in different locations. And so yeah, so that was where I first got into the fitness world. And naturally, I just love technology. And now I get to run software, reviewbiz.io, and we help fitness studios, gyms, CrossFit, you name it, use reviews with a strategy to help you gain more customers, and then also a way to get referrals from it. So yeah, I'm really excited about what we have for the community. And so, yeah, love it.
That's awesome, man. And
oh, by the way, I can't forget my family. As you can see, if you're looking at this on video, I have my family in the background, and so wife Dominican, and my two kids, 15 and 13.
very cool, man. Very cool. You got a much earlier start than I did with the kids. Mine are only 2 and 6. So,
yeah.
So congrats on that one.
No, yeah, right. It's each season has its own. I hate to say peril, but own challenges. That's the right word. Yeah. Its own challenges. So, be mindful and where you are, and where enjoy the moment. For
sure. If my kids are anything like I was around 13, 14, it's going to be horrible. Now, granted, I was the middle child, which is always the worst, right?
That's right.
But oh my God, if they're like me, I don't even know what I'm going to do. So we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, so what are some of these changes that have happened with Google Analytics 4?
Yeah. So right off the bat, one thing that comes to mind that most people are not aware of, and that's where I like to start. Like, hey, did you know this? And everybody that calls your number, they actually tap on your Google profile, and they tip, call the gym or the business. If this is just a regular business, you're listening to this, those numbers become marketable. You can actually grab those numbers now. You can actually get a list of those numbers, and now you can reach out to them via text, which is actually a smart way to do it. So, and it's so natural, right? So if I'm calling a business and then they text me back, that's cool. I reached out to you. You should make the effort to reach back out to me to find out what is it, because I might not picked up, right? And that happens, right? You're busy doing whatever in the middle of your hectic day, and then somebody wants to call you, and you're like, oh, can't answer it, or you answer real quick and then you hang up, and whatever happens. So that becomes like number one thing that most people don't know about Google Analytics. Also, there's a lot of engagement metrics inside of Google Analytics 4 that you can actually take out and find out, like, all right, this is what's going on with my customers. Talking about reviews, right? And so how the reviews have affected our lead flow, and how that connects. And I mean, you guys get the reports. I mean, it's so much better. And make sure that you subscribe to the Google Analytics 4 and get that, because we'll spend like at least an hour trying to go through all that stuff, and it really helps you understand how Google is helping you. They really want to help you, and they really want to serve their customer. Like they really want to make sure, hey, my customer is looking for this, and I'm giving them the best possible option. You then become the best possible option. And so how do you become the best possible option? When we talk about reviews, why are reviews important? Well, easy answer is the rating, right? Oh, I want my rating to be high. Yeah, 5.0. I'm like, no, you don't really want a 5.0. I'm happy with a 4.8, 4.9, the very highest. I don't want 5.0. I'd rather have a lot of reviews and a lot of recent reviews. So why is those important? Because it serves Google Analytics 4 that you are an actual business that is open, right? Because how many times do you go to a Google place and then they're not open? They're not even answering. Like, what is the deal? So that's frustrating. And Google does not want to frustrate the end user that's searching for your type of business. So the reviews become super important. When I go, man, I went one time to a gym because I found them on Google, and I looked around. I ended up going to this chemical factory. I walked in. I'm like, what is this? And like, they looked at me and like, what are you doing here? I'm like, is this gym? I'm like, no, we've been here for a year. And it was the
Especially after the
address.
pandemic and all the closures and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gone. They're gone. And so another business was ready there, but it wasn't marked as not. But when I should have taken my own advice. Looked at the reviews. I went back to the reviews. I'm like, damn, we had a review in a year. I mean, come on. Of course,
so that's
they're
important,
closed.
guys. A review in a year, because I don't check. I mean, I got a lot of gyms, right? I don't even check them anymore.
Right.
Not the best policy. Now, granted, there's a lot I don't do. I hand it off down the line. But at the end of the day, people who don't have an active a review system, strategy, you might be hearing this like, oh shit, have I had one? I think so. But a year can come and go pretty quickly, without you thinking about the review management side of your business.
Yeah. It's such an underrated strategy that people are like, it's okay, I'll get them. Or they say, you know what? I got 49 reviews. I got a 5.0. I am good. And I look, they haven't got a review in 3 months. I'm like, are you though? Are you? I mean, seriously, like 3 months, you haven't had feedback about your gym, your business? Like you don't, like who's giving you feedback about your business? If it's not your customer. If your customer is not giving you feedback, then who is? Your employees, your staff members, your team members? Hopefully you got that kind of relationship, but it's so easy to get the feedback. We call feedback a gift, and it is, because it's like, thank you so much for telling me about that equipment that was broken down, And so it comes in as a bad review, but listen, those bad reviews become sometimes a blessing in disguise. So just back to like the Google Analytics reasoning and why it's so good, like conversion rates. Like this helps you with conversion rates. Like you get to find out like the referrals that are coming from different traffic sources. All that stuff was there before, but now it's so much easier to consume, and you get to see what's going on with your business on Google. Because I mean, right now, we just heard about Bing and how it tried to use AI, and it was a disaster. People are complaining. So Google has been holding on to their AI model for a while. They don't want to release it yet, really, to the whole masses, because they're still working through it. They understand it. It's like, imagine, I have a driverless car, and they have that already. They have all that stuff already. They just don't want to release it to the whole masses. And then the masses does what the masses does. They'll just mess it up and find gaps and holes and stuff. And so they're testing their reiterations. They're going through the ringer on their stuff. But Bing is just like, you know what? We're the underdog. We're going to go and use this new thing and check it out. And blew up in their face.
How
Man.
so? I haven't heard about that at all.
I just heard about it today, dude. That's how like I'm like, what? Because I knew they were going to come up, and I'm like, oh man, Bing's really going to be in there. Like Microsoft, that's Microsoft, by the way.
Yeah.
Microsoft is.
So are they trying to use it in conjunction with their phones or software you're talking about to find and connect to the things you're looking for, or
they're just trying to give you more data, more prevalent information to help you serve you better. Like honestly, all these companies, they just want to serve you better, and thank God, right? Because I mean, it's great because I want convenience in my life. Everybody wants convenience. They make it so easy, right? It's nobody wants to think super hard on trying to solve a problem if the problem's already been solved.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Why am I going to invent the wheel again? So yeah, and this goes to any buddy that's has a service as a business, as you do, I do, and it's like, listen, I already have all the answers and gone through things, and we're going improvements and stuff, but just take it, like run with it, see how good it is, and that's it.
Yeah. So reviews is important to have a lot of reviews, right? Because I know when I'm searching for different businesses, I want to see something that has more than just a handful of reviews for sure. In my opinion, it legitimizes the business. So that's important.
So can I test you, Scott?
Sure. Yeah.
How many is good reviews? How many reviews is good enough?
God, I think it really depends on what I'm searching for me.
Right.
So it's relative, right? Because there are certain businesses or industries where you might find 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, but they all have relatively low reviews, right?
That's
so
it.
It's relative.
You hit it. You hit it, right? So you look at your local area, look at your competitors. How are my local competitors comparing in amount of reviews that they have? So am I in the middle, the bottom, or the top? Am I the top dog in amount of reviews? And that's the right answer right there. You had it. You're
just so smart, Andres.
You are, dude. I mean, seriously.
I stumbled upon that one. But
we're all users. We're all users. We know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me as a consumer, what I look for.
Yeah.
And what I like about you saying that too is that actually ignites my competitive edge a little bit too. Because now I'm like, oh shit, I wonder what they are. Because I know for certain, even though I haven't looked in forever, I know for certain there's this one guy who has more than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to take that son of a bitch down,
Right. And so how long are you going to be top dog? Well, you're long as a top dog until somebody comes and knocks you out.
Somebody's hungrier than you. Right.
Right. 100%.
Unless they've got a really, really good strategy behind it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what you've kind of built. And we'll get into that in a second. So
no worries.
Number of reviews are really important. And then also, so what you're saying too is the relevancy, how new they are, is also important.
Yes, for sure. Like 3 criteria that I look at are your rating, your recency, and volume. Those are the 3 things I look at. And there's one thing, the other 4th thing is kind of like the cherry, and it's one of the biggest. And actually, I'm glad I just thought of this because it's the words that people use in a review become searchable. Imagine you're looking for a specific type of equipment to work out in, and you search that name of the equipment and you find it because Google gave it to you. This is the gym, and it'll highlight it for you, the word and that review. And now you're like, that's the one I'm going to check because that's what I'm looking for.
Interesting.
That is like literally game changer because what that is user generated content, and that's UGC. And you can look it up and it's real. It's your consumers, your customers, your members are creating content. And we know this inside of social media. They'll do a story, tag you, and boom. And now you can take that tag or a story and put it on you didn't have to do anything for
producing all the content for free, basically.
That's it.
All of social media, right? It's a genius model. And so what you're saying is that this is just another form of that.
Yes, 100%. And you don't have to do anything for it. You really don't have to do anything. You actually just got to inspire your members, your customers to leave words in their review. Not just the rating, because when I see a rating, I'm like,
right. You never know how legit that is either, right?
That's correct.
Same thing, like take Amazon. Cool, something I'm going to rate. I don't just look at the rating on it because they're all pretty similar. I look below to see what the pros and the cons of this item is. And I also look to see if they're like legit versus completely faked, right? Because you see that sometimes.
100%. And this is a book right here. It's called The Review Cycle. I didn't write it. I just have a couple copies and I give it to our customers. And it talks about, if you look at this is how many stars?
4.5.
4.5. That number is so key. You don't want to be below 4.5. If you're below 4.5, you're not even being considered. So there's another thing right there. So if you're not 4.5 or higher, dude, you need something to help you get there. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. And we were talking and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to show him this book because it's super, super, super helpful to understand a strategy that could work for you guys. It's
awesome. I just wrote that down on a sticky note. The Review Cycle.
Yeah. Matt Vance.
Check that out. And like you were saying too, I'm sure it's in there, but a perfect 5-star reviews also looks, especially if you got like 7, like if you got a lot, it looks fishy.
Yeah. That was your mom.
You're like, that
your mom, your
just
cousin.
a really good marketer, right? Yeah, exactly.
Your mom, your cousin, and your dog left a review, and you got 5.0. Yeah.
Exactly. So you try and sniff that bullshit out too. And anything that's on Amazon that has a 5-star review, it only has like 7 reviews, and none of them are legit. So it's a big question mark. The bottom line is because everything's white labeled on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't go to those. I'll discard anything that's only got 8 reviews on Amazon and it's a perfect 5-star. I'm like, well, those obviously aren't legit. So I move on to the next product that has a lower rating.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot more that seems to be a little bit more, indicative of the truth.
Well, it's so interesting. So I think if I was to look at Google and Amazon, right, those are big deal companies. And so Amazon, the way they do it is they actually, I can do a search by whatever keyword I want to find, and then I could do top rated, and it only shows me top rated 4.0 or higher, right? Or 4.5. I don't even know if you can do 4.5 or higher. But would it be interesting? That's how Google Analytics 4 does it. Google Analytics 4 will only serve you up, without you asking, the high rated local opportunities that you can actually go ahead and find.
Very cool. And just the concept of it being user generated content. That's a really interesting concept. It just, when you said it like that, I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I can see why they're going to push for that, because that's what everything out there is.
Yeah.
It's more credible when it's coming from the consumers
100%.
Rather than the businesses putting them out.
Right.
So I can see how they're going to want to push that.
And then people will say to us, hey, so should I reply to reviews? I'm like, yeah, of course you should reply to reviews, but why? Right. And so I've had this, not an argument, but a discussion with one of our gym owners. And he's like, well, then it's like, Stan, you want to do it just for the fact that somebody will see that you did. It's just a respectful thing. You reply. Somebody talks to you, you reply back. And so those words that just so you know, the words you use in the reply are not searchable. Don't try to, pour into,
Dang it.
No. Yeah.
You're gonna stuff that thing full of keywords, man.
Right. No. Yeah. So you just want to be as authentic as possible.
Cool.
And that being said, we're working on our side for we're going to call it a magic button, where you get to look at the reviews. It looks at the review and you hit the button and it auto replies for you.
Very cool.
Now you can change whatever it created. It's an inspiration, and you can say, yeah, that's true. Let me add a couple more things. Great. I actually know the person. Let me put that information. That was a great workout last week, whatever. And then reply. So we're working on that on our side, because AI really blew up in November of last year, and it's going places. It's not staying. So if you don't have any kind of AI, tools that you're using, please do, because it's going to happen, and it's going to be fast.
It's wild to see that's only existed since like November.
It is.
Wild.
It is.
It's moving at the speed of light, and it's so good.
It is. It's good and bad, right? Obviously, we talked about Bing, how it blew up in their face. So use it correctly.
I think overall for humanity is probably a really bad thing. But that being said, it ain't going anywhere, and it can, as entrepreneurs, we can harness and utilize this to help us. So I don't know if it's going to lead to the rise of the machines, but it could. But at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere, and we're at the infancy stage. But where it's going to be in 10 years, it's going to be absurd.
Right. Well, it's interesting. It's like a technology, and I'm thinking about, I don't know why I went to like the fiat system and money, right? It's like, oh, this is a new process, a new way of doing, transactions, no longer bartering. And so, and it is money bad or good? And it's neither. It's how we use it. So please use it responsibly. Don't just allow AI to talk for you. You should definitely be involved in that conversation and then put some humanity into it. And that's what's missing.
Yeah.
It really is. When you you actually have ChatGPT, right, that will create content for you, and then you have another software that will take a look at it and say, hey, that is AI generated. Okay, great. Now rewrite it for me so it's not AI generated. And then when they do rewrite it for you, it doesn't even sound anything too comprehensive. You can't understand it. It's just like, so don't allow AI to take over, and you have the power to do so. Don't let it do it.
Agreed. Totally agreed. So yeah, with reviews are super important. Yeah, Google's leaning on them heavily. That's awesome to know that they're looking at the search term. They're using those keywords in there. That's hugely important. Awesome. So how, like, you founded ReviewBiz. What is the main strategy that you put into play? How do you do that? How can a gym owner be really effective and use this as one of their best, really the best weapon that they've got on the organic acquisition side, which again, I'm huge on organic leads. I love them. They're infinitely warmer, easier to work with, that they're going to buy your higher ticket programs. I just love them. So how can they really optimize what they have going on to increase that?
Yeah, well, first, do they have something? And usually coaches will say, or gym owners will say, yeah, well, we have, after class, we ask for reviews. I'm like, okay, cool. Great. How's that working? And I'm like, it's okay. Sometimes comme ci, comme ça, like a little bit here, a little bit there, something like that. So I think I just spoke French. That wasn't Spanish, by the way. See. Yeah, it's French.
He is also yes in French, actually, just verification.
That's right. And so that doesn't work very well. But so what's the next step, right? Well, you can have a QR code, right? QR code, have people scan, and then give them a reward to leave a review, right? And so, when you mention coach or something, we'll the coach that wins the most, they get to pick who I don't know, something. Get creative with your stuff. There's something called Promotion Vault that people can. By the way, you're not allowed to pay for review. It's not looked very well up with all the directories. You can actually lose all your reviews, and I've seen it happen. It's not fun. So
almost kind of like, hey, people pay for likes on Instagram. You're saying that there's a way that Google knows if you're starting to do that, and they can shut it down.
I'll tell you how. So let's say you say, oh, you know what? I can figure this out myself. I'm going to go ahead and put out a email and a text message, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of reviews. And you got like 30 reviews in one day. Well, Google's going to be like, what the heck? What did they offer? And
it looks
I don't really
fishy
care.
From the end user standpoint too, because you can notice when like, okay, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden there's like 15 on one day. Within a span of 24 hours.
It's definitely fishy. And so you definitely don't want to do that, but you want to make sure you're reaching out. So, well, Andres, when do you reach out? Well, when are your customers, your members, the most, excited about your product, your service? And usually it's at the beginning, right? Or after they've gotten those results that you've promised. That's it. Like those are the one main thing. So it's hard to figure out through automation and figure out, when they're excited or when they get the results, unless you have some kind of tracking system, right? But what we've done on our side is that when somebody joins your gym, we're going to reach out to them, but we're not going to reach out to them right away. We did that before. Doesn't work. We went and go ahead, 10 days. We've actually talked to the business owner and said, hey, when are your members like onboarded and kind of like already like in tune to what's going on in your gym? And some will say 30 days, some will say, 7 days, 10 days. So then, okay, great. At that mark, we're going to assume that, 90% of the people will leave a review. Will not leave a review. 90 people will be excited about your gym at that point. So then we go ahead and start the reach out campaigns through automations, email and text message. And we inspire them. And so we also have this nonprofit flavor to our thing. For every review that the business owner gets, we're rewarding a nonprofit, a third party that's not involved in
That's
this whole
cool.
transaction.
I like that.
So
I
what
like
happens
that. That
yeah,
that actually entices me to want to leave. Would want to entice me to leave a review.
I'm going to do it
That's
anyways.
brilliant. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. So this, it's been a work in progress. We started with a clean water for one family, Uganda, Nepal, and I was gonna say Nebraska, not Nebraska. Uganda, Nepal, and Uganda. See, I get confused with Uganda and Nebraska. It's just
So they're so alike.
so alike. And so we used to do that, but we stopped the partnership. It just was hard to maintain and keep up with. This way, the way we're going to be doing it's all through, triggers and automations and emails, and so it makes it really easy to manage. So that's one thing that we do, how we inspire reciprocity. It's this social responsibility. So anyway, so that's one thing that we love doing on our side. And then we just take those reviews, and we talked about user generated content. We take those reviews and automatically put them on people's websites. We put them on social media for them and all that good stuff. And then we're about to do the whole AI reply. And it's not going to do it automatically for you. It's going to go ahead and give you the inspiration, and you did decide whether that's the right one. And you can have anybody do this for you. Like, you don't need to now spend 30 minutes to reply to, 10 or 15 reviews. And what really gets me is that when somebody gets a bad review, I get asked, hey, help me reply to this bad review. I'm like, okay, well, let's take the emotion out of it. I know they're not right. They just want their money back. So the AI kind of does it for you, and it helps, you can kind of add a little bit here and there. So I don't know. Did I answer your question? I get sometimes on these tangents and I kind of go.
Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs, and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends, and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. That's totally okay. Yeah, so I think you brought up something that's always a fear about that gym owners have about, hey, if I kind of try to automate this process, what happens? Because inevitably we're in this business, so we all have our fair share of nutbags that show up. And I mean, just off the rocker. So I know as a gym owner, like, oh man, if this goes out to everybody, I might get just some screwball.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm really afraid of that 1-star review that throws me under the bus, that'll just, everybody's going to see.
Oh,
so what do you, so like, what's your advice on that one? I'm curious.
That's good. No, that's a great question. And I didn't set them up because that's a good question. I forgot to talk about, because it's so important. Right. And so one bad review, to counter that one bad review, you're going to need 8 to 12 good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Andres, it was hard enough to get 5 reviews. You're telling me I got to get 12 for every one? I'm not even going to go get any more. And that's why people don't do it, because of their fear that you just mentioned. And I love that you did that. So we reach out to everybody, and hopefully it's going to be at the right place at the right time. And so, but there are people that are going to go around our system and they're going to leave a bad review. And that happens. That's just life. Like, come on. I can't control those things. They're going to go around our process, our system.
Okay. So you have a process to kind of like safeguard, to make sure if it's a bad review, it doesn't like get posted, right? So you've got an internal kind of process.
I do. Yeah.
That, hey, we'll filter it. And if it's a bad review, we probably just get to hear about it hopefully on our own. If it's a good review, do they kind of do it? And then it's like, hey, can you share this on Google, or how does that work? So it kind of goes one of two ways. You got to filter. People who are really pissed off are going to go around that filter for sure. Right?
Oh, for sure.
No matter 100%,
what. No matter what happens.
It's gonna happen. It's happened to everybody. But you've got to filter. So if they're not that pleased, it really doesn't get out to the public. And if it is good, you then prompt them to share it on different platforms, or how does that work?
That's right. That's right. So we're actually in the mix of our iteration, like our second version of our software. And so right now, the way it looks is that we reach out via email and text message, clear call to action. We're not confusing them with a promotion that you have here, or, our doors are open this weekend. Nothing. We're not going to confuse them. We're focused on just the review part.
Mm-hmm.
And when they click the button, the link, it takes them to a page. That page is going to tell a little bit about who you are and thank them for their feedback. Because right now, they clicked the link. I call it non-verbal marketing communication. Most people don't understand what that is, but we understand what nonverbal communication is, and that's like my hands and my eyes and whether I roll them or not roll them, right? And so what happens is with nonverbal marketing communication is somebody opens an email,
Mm-hmm.
clicks a link, and then when they're on the page, what are they doing on the page? If you can figure that out, bro, you got the makings of how to engage with your customers. You're on easy street because now your retention rate is going to go high because you know who to talk to and who to engage easily with. They're going to feel like, wow, this person knows me and feels me. So if you have a business that has 500 plus members, it's kind of hard to really stay engaged. If you have 3 or 4 different locations, who do I talk to? So our software helps you kind of figure that out. So anyways, let me go take you back on the track of going to that page. Once they go to that page, I do thumbs up, thumbs down. I like binary. I was talking to my sales team. I was like, hey, listen, ask them a binary question. Do they like this or this? Don't let them just think for themselves. Just give them the options and they get red pill, blue pill, right? Simple. And so we go ahead and give them thumbs up, thumbs down on the page. And if it's thumbs down, hey, here's a feedback form. Sorry, you don't like whatever it is. Let us know. And so they fill it out and great. But the thing is, that's called review gating. If anybody knows about review gating, if they're a little more advanced about how reviews management works, then you don't want to do that. Because again, Google can slap you on the wrist. And if you're doing that. So we have a link on there that says, hey, if you want to voice your opinion publicly, go ahead, click the link and you can go publicly. But I'm not going to make it like, hey, promotion, go ahead and click here to leave it on public. No, hey, listen, you told me you don't like us for a reason. Let me know. But if you want to tell somebody else, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. So you don't control that stuff to be able to play nice with all the other platforms because they're going to play with you nice and you want to give them the same courtesy. So that's the way it goes. If they like you, thumbs up, then go ahead here. You pick the options, like Google, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, Better Business Bureau, all these different directories. We integrate with like 150 different directories. So it's simple. Once they get good reviews, we put it on their website, social media. But then on the back end, we get to see all the non-verbal marketing communication that people did. People will open emails and say they're going to leave a review and they still don't leave a review. Mm-hmm. So frustrating for a business owner. You're like, I went through all that, you went through all that and you didn't even leave the review? Like that doesn't make sense. So I tell them, listen, call them anyways, or text them something, some form of reach out and just say, hey, thank you so much for just taking the time to give me a thumbs up, even though don't say you didn't leave me a review, but just say, thank you so much. And then the secret, you ready for the secret? The referral. You ask, hey, what did you like about what we did for you? And do you know anybody else who would love to experience what you just experienced? And that's the magic of using reviews to get more referral business and engagement with your customers.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I listen, I'm not here holding back anything. Listen, it's for everybody. The things that I've discovered and learned, I want to share. I don't want to keep it to myself and like only if you purchase may you get the secret. No. Yeah.
Very cool. And would you rank Google as the most important for reviews? What would be a number 2? What would be number 3?
It's all about domain authority, right? And
Okay.
so we're talking about SEO and who has the highest domain authority.
Mhm.
You have Google, Facebook, and Yelp. Unfortunately, Yelp. Everybody I talk to doesn't like Yelp. They are up and
You
coming.
said
Like
Yelp would be number 1, you said? You think?
in the top tier, their
Okay.
domain authority,
Okay.
unless I hear differently, but we have Nextdoor that's coming up. And
Mhm.
and honestly, it depends on your industry. So let's say you are a
Sure.
contractor, right? Thumbtack is a good one for contractors, right? Lawyers have their own. Medical has, WebMD and all these other health grades. And so, we built the platform to work with many different verticals, many different industries. But the one that I noticed that we helped out the most was the gym industry. And that's why we focus our integration. So when you say like, Andres, look, like, I don't want to, how do you know when that person, like, how do you add them to the system? Well, we have integrations and we have like little filters and stuff. So everybody that's new today, put them into the system, wait, buffer until the days, 7 days, 10 days, 30 days happen. And then we start reaching out. So then it's like almost a set it and forget it. Almost.
Mhm.
I don't, softwares don't like to say set it and forget it, but
Sure.
yeah, we don't want to change. We want to just, add to and not have to create another process that you need to figure out. Oh, I need to export this list. And then I need to, make sure I match the merge fields. And then no. Let us take care of that.
Very cool. And so, yeah, like it's Google, Yelp. I know a lot of business owners hate Yelp, rightfully so, but I've always been a proponent. Like I've been out of my gyms for a while, so I would have to talk to my guys. But I do know is when I was still working in them years ago,
Yeah,
that our best clients, our hottest clients, they did come from Yelp. The ones that, I mean, this is back in the day before we did our high ticket stuff or mid, but still, when we did like our 3-time a week PT, the people who would just come in, they came to us because we had the best reviews. They would literally tell us this when I was doing the consultation.
Yeah.
The serious people who are looking for personal training 3 times a week. It's like, hey, I don't want to just solve a problem. I want the best solution to the problem. They looked at a few people. They came to my location because we by far had the best reviews. That was what would come in from us from Yelp. Would be just like our dream clients would come from
cream.
that.
Yeah, a lot of cream stuff. Yeah, it's great.
But Yelp is frustrating because they flag legitimate reviews, which frustrates the crap out of you.
Yeah.
They seem to put any bad review way up there all the time, regardless if he's even legit. I think we've all fired an employee to have them write a bad review that is still on there. That has happened. And so it's frustrating to grow Yelp because they flag half of them sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they had their questionable sales tactics too.
Yeah.
They spam the living shit out of you. Like just crazy. And they don't even give you full control over your profile unless you pay them too. So yeah, most people do not like Yelp. That being said, I can tell you one thing that I've seen that it will bring you some dream clients, guaranteed.
Yeah. And you remember a little directory called Foursquare?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be the joint. That used to be like, oh, wow, this great stuff, great content. People were creating stuff, but then it went away. So I'm hoping that's what happens to Yelp.
Yeah. It'd be great if it just disintegrated. That'd be great. Because I mean, the less we have to manage, the better, because there is no way to universally capture a review and get it to Google and to Facebook and to other channels. Correct.
Right. No, not legitimately, legitimately. Right. So then you have to like ask for that member to leave another review. I would say like a year later, like, hey, if you can leave me a review somewhere else, it'd be great. Sometimes I've had people leave reviews, the same time in different directories, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's definitely not, I would love to see Nextdoor be that place where
I could see that. I have it. I've been in there in the past before. I haven't looked at it, but I mean, I'm so busy. I don't pay attention to what's going on in the neighborhood anyways, but there's a lot of people on that stuff. And I do know, so Ron, runs one of my locations. he's set up like a pretty good Nextdoor profile, and there's quite a lot of reviews on there, and he's getting traction from that. So
Nice.
becoming a thing, it's always evolving, isn't it?
It is a big thing. And so, yeah, you got to keep your eye on the prize and what's changing, what's new. So, that's my job on the review side and SEO side. We're, one thing, make sure everybody does, by the way, if I don't speak about this, I would hate myself. Your Google business profile, which before used to call Google My Business, it's no longer called Google My Business, Google Business Profile. Make sure you fill out everything in there. Add products, services, make sure everything is up to date, who you serve, all that good stuff. And then put post on there. It's Google social media. Google Plus is gone. And so they took what was going on Google Plus with post and brought it over to Google Business Profile. So go ahead and post once a week. Guys, do that once a week for yourself. You're going to do yourself a favor. It's going to help you stand out more because that's what you want to do. You want to stand out from your competition, and this is the way to do it. Again, that's something that we help our clients with, but I'm telling you guys can do this. You got to look it up and you can figure it out and you can do it. Or you can reach out to us and we can figure it out for you. But this
is the long game, guys. Reviews, posting on your Google My Business, whatever the hell it's called anymore, business profile, and blogs and stuff like that show you're relevant, you're engaged. This is the long game. This is planting seeds that next week they're not going to come there, but it'll make your business so much more robust that if they do change an algorithm in Facebook, you're not screwed. Right. And I love organic stuff. So this is stuff that like, you just got to play the long game. A lot of us don't want to do this because it's not going to help me this month. I mean, it literally can, but at the end of the day,
it can. Yeah.
I mean, it can.
Listen, but the thing is that people confuse like, well, that's SEO. Well, yeah, SEO is a different world. That is the long game. Like you're not going to see anything for like 6 months. Like if you want the quick, I mean, like you said, it's not guaranteed. But
that's why people don't want to do it. It's not like, oh, I don't get the benefit right now. But guys, let's equate this. This is exactly why you're so frustrated with your damn clients. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to lose the 30 pounds this week, right? They don't see any results this week. They just got to keep putting in the reps on the exercise end, on the nutrition end. You keep doing it. 6 months later, you're going to get to that end destination. And in our case, it's like, this is an ongoing thing. Like if you don't continue to work out your business, right, with your reviews, with these little things, you can't expect that to grow. You're not going to get business hypertrophy on the organic side unless you do those things.
Right.
It's a very nerdy metaphor, but I think everybody gets it.
I love it. I get it. No, it's so good. That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
So you kind of have a system to really knock all this stuff out at reviewbiz.io. And you said you have a special promotion. You asked if it was okay before we started recording, if like you mentioned it. And I said, yes, absolutely. Go for it.
For sure. Yeah.
And so I didn't even get to hear it, but what kind of a thing are you doing?
For sure. So if you guys can use an extra 5 reviews, please take me up on this offer. It's $1 and you're going to get 2 weeks of our software for $1. And what we know that we can do for you, we can get you 5 reviews without a problem. Like we're not stretching the imagination. We used to do it in 1 week and it's like, that's cutting it really close and tight. Let's expand it to 2 weeks to make sure that we are over delivering and under promising. So $1 will get you 2 weeks with us. And that's after onboarding. So you can say, okay, you signed up there and then onboarding is in 2 days. And then 2 days from there is 2 weeks. So we're going to get you set up and get you reviews. 5 for sure, maybe more, but no more, no less for sure. And so all you got to do, like Scott was saying, reviewbiz.io/try, TRY. So that's it. It's go there and you'll get to see me, all animated with video and be able to help you guys stand out and get that unfair advantage that reviews can get you.
That's awesome, Andres. Appreciate that. And I'll put that in the show notes, guys. So it's reviewbiz.io/try, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. TRY. So I'll put that in the show notes. You've gotten a lot of like action items on this too, right? We talked about reviews and we talked about the Google My Business profile or whatever the heck it's called and all these different things. Andres, if you could say, hey, this is the lowest hanging fruit, what's that one action item on somebody could take? What's the action item that's the most important that somebody could take action on right now that would be your clearest takeaway?
Man, I would just go check your Google business profile. Make sure that it has all the information because you can do that right now. It's not going to take, it's going to take 10 minutes because if you reviews, you got to have somebody else to review. So that's like, you're going to have to figure that out. But right now, just go to your Google business profile and then take a look at the engagement. Take a look at the conversion rates. Take a look at what's going on in your Google business profile. Because don't just like fill out the information, but just check out what is happening. And then reply to some reviews. Like if you haven't replied to a review and it's been there for a month or so, please do something and just reply. Like I would say, go ahead and do those things right now. It's going to benefit you, like again, in the long run. But definitely do those today.
That's great. Because I'm guilty as charged. I'm overdue on that too. I'm definitely overdue. I know my people are overdue. We haven't like programmed that in there to kind of like do right as one of our monthly tasks or whatever it is. That's a really good piece of advice that I'm going to have to take you up on too. And maybe we'll have to put that in our quarterly mastermind. We're going to have our PT Legends quarterly mastermind coming up at the end of about a month, really, to the day. So at the end of March, whenever this airs, but that might be something that we all take. Like we'll talk about it and then we'll all take 20 minutes and do it together. Because sometimes this is the stuff you never do, right? So we don't focus just on the learning and the teaching. It's like it's on the implementation. The last thing that always kind of sucks sometimes is when you go to a mastermind or event, you get all this learning. You're drinking from a fire hose.
Right. And
then you got to go back to work the next day. And it's like you don't get to implement anything. So that is a really good thing that we're going to build into this one.
I love it. Yeah, dude. And they'll say, hey, listen, these are the action items, checklist, go through this, right? And if you're done through that, hey, raise your hand and go over there. Hey, let me check it out. All right. We should do this. I don't know. That's something, in my mind, like, how do you kind of like go through like practical wise? That's good. That's great.
Awesome. Well, Andres, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. I know this is stuff that we all need to do, but we need that kick in the ass sometimes to be like, hey, this is important. You just need to go do it. So I appreciate the kick in the ass.
Of course. My pleasure. It's payback for all my coaches that kicked my ass.
Exactly. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Gym Owner Freedom Show. Leave a review, share it with somebody who needs to do it. The links for Andres to reach him and to get his trial offer, I'll put it in the show notes. So thanks so much for listening. We'll see you on the next show. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.